Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Um, we will start our session with listing the different organic food identification tests. نحن أخذنا إنه عندنا ثلاثة types of food. Organic food, we have proteins, we have carbohydrates, and we have lipids. In this session, we will see the different identification tests for these organic food. Okay, we will see two organic food identification test. يعني أنا بعمل تيست لحتى أشوف اتحقق من وجود الكربوهيدرات. في عندي two tests for carbohydrates، في عندي two tests for proteins، أنا عندي one test حشوفه in this session for lipids. Okay, so حنبلش بالكربوهيدرات. I have two tests. في test نحن بنعرف we already have taken this test in grade 7 and grade 6. It's called the iodine test. Okay, the iodine test. And if you remember, it identifies the presence of starch and it gives dark blue color. Okay, لون كحلي على غامق، على هيك كحلي كتير غامق. And we have another test. It's a new test. We haven't taken it before. It's the Fehling test. It's for the reducing sugars. Okay. حنبلش بالiodine test. كل test I should know the name of the test, the aim of this test. ليش عم بعمل التست؟ لحتى أشوف the presence of which substance and how to make this test. أنا لازم أحفظ the procedure how to make this test and the result. Okay, النتيجة شو اللون اللي بده يعطيني at the end. So حنبلش بالiodine test. Iodine test, the aim of this test is to identify the presence of starch. Okay, so أنا ممكن جيب a piece of potato, a piece of bread, pasta, rice, بجيبهم, and then in the procedure I add a few drops of iodine solution. Okay, we add few drops of iodine solution. The result is the dark blue color. The result is dark blue color. So this result, the dark blue color, indicates the presence of starch. هتشوفوا بعدين بالexercises. هو بس بيعطيني الريزلت، بيقول لي في substance أنا عملت لها iodine test، يعني adding iodine solution، عطتني dark blue color in the result. What does this indicate? So this result indicates أنا دغري بنطلع العين. It indicates the presence of starch. Okay, indicates the presence of starch. So I had a piece of potato. This is the iodine solution. أو نقول له iodine water. Actually you can try this at home. Betadine solution يلي منطهر فيه الجرح هو made up of iodine. It's an iodine solution. So you can bring a piece of bread, potato, rice, pasta، أي شيء فيه starch، وبحطوا few drops of the betadine over the food, and if it gives a dark blue color إذا عطتني هيدا اللون، اللون الأسود جاي كحلي على غامق أقرب للأسود، so means there is a starch. Okay, as you can see the color of the iodine solution. شفتوا the color of the iodine solution لونه جاي brown. It has orange brown color. So when this orange brown color meets with the starch بصير في عندي chemical reaction. هيدا الchemical reaction بينتج عنا مادة جديدة. هيدا المادة الجديدة لونها dark blue. So it changes the color of iodine from orange brown to dark blue. Okay, whenever it mixes with the starch.
Simple carbohydrates are the sugars found in anything sweet. Starchy carbohydrates are found in foods like pasta, potatoes, cereals and rice. A few drops of iodine solution produces a colour change from orange to blue-black. This indicates the presence of starch. So will any of our foods test positive? Grape juice, nuts, or bread. Starch is present in bread, but not in grape juice or nuts.
Okay. Okay, the second test is the Fehling test. We're still dealing with the carbohydrates. The Fehling test. The aim of this test to identify the presence of reducing sugars. Reducing sugars are maltose and glucose. نحن قلنا الستارش digestion هي الستارش بيتكسر لمالتوز لدبل شوجر وبيرجع لجلوكوز اللي هو simple sugar. اوكي سو ستارش له تيست لحال يلي هو الايودين تيست. اما مالتوز وجلوكوز بنسميهم reducing sugars. بنسميهم reducing sugars because they give a positive result with Fehling test. Okay, so we bring a test tube. بنحط the substance الفود in this tube. Okay, I will use smashed grapes لأنه الجريبس they are rich in glucose. هن sugar of grapes هو الجلوكوز naturally. And then I add Fehling solution. هيدا solution I bring it from the lab محضر خالص اسمه Fehling solution. لونه blue بكون Fehling solution. And then I heat the tube. So هول 3 steps. First step, I put the substance in the tube, and then I add Fehling solution, and I heat the tube. هيدا blue color, Fehling solution is blue in color. هيدا blue color, it will change after heating into a red brick precipitate. اللون الأحمر الأرميدي. Red brick precipitate or brick red precipitate, it's the same. اوكي وحيكون precipitate يعني powdery. اوكي ما حيكون مثل لون الكولر الترانسبيرنسي. اوكي حيكون مثل كأنه powdery عشان هيك بنقول له precipitate كأنه في ترسبات. اوكي هيدا indication of a chemical reaction. اكيد هيدا chemical reaction has taken place between the Fehling solution and the glucose found in the grapes, which has led to the presence of new substances. اوكي ما حنفوت بالchemistry part يلي بينتج عنا the change in color لأنه change in color means it's an indication of a chemical reaction. Okay, so the Fehling test, the aim of the Fehling test to identify the presence of reducing sugars. It's not allowed for you to say just sugars. أنا لازم أقول reducing sugars. Okay, such as المالتوز والجلوكوز. The procedure, we add an amount of Fehling solution on the substance in a tube and then we heat. Okay, we add amount of Fehling solution on the substance and then we heat. We said in the 3 steps, نحط the substance, we add the Fehling solution and then we heat. The result is red brick precipitate. Okay, let's watch this video. To the left tube, some table sugar is added. Table sugar فيه sucrose مش glucose. تاني tube, on the right side بنحط glucose. We're supposed to add water حتى ندوب أول شي sugar يلي زدناه. We shake the tubes and then we add Fehling solution. شفتوا كيف لونه blue? It has a blue color in both tubes. We heat the beakers. Okay, حطيناهم بwater bath مش on direct heating. Okay, I want you to observe the right tube. هتشوفوا كيف بصير في عنا change in color gradually مش بسرعة. شوفوا كيف the color is turning into red brick precipitate because the right tube contains glucose. Glucose is a reducing sugar. Did you see the change in color? So the formation of a red brick precipitate indicates the presence of glucose, the presence of reducing sugars. اوكي خلصنا الكربوهيدراتس. We have the Fehling test. بدنا نحفظ كل شيء في الفهلينج تيست. aim, procedure and result. وخلصنا iodine test, the aim, procedure and result. Now we will talk about the proteins. Okay, we have two tests for a protein. We have something called coagulation test. Coagulation يعني التجمد. Okay, and we have the biuret test. Coagulation and biuret test. We'll start with the coagulation test. The aim of this test to identify the presence of proteins. Okay, أنا بعرف في عندي proteins بيتكسروا ل polypeptides. Okay, we have discussed this in the previous session. And the polypeptides, they are broken down into nutrients يلي هن الامينو acids. هيدا التست هو خاص بالبروتينز, بالcomplex proteins only. Okay, أنا بهيدا التست I also can perform this test at home. Iodine can be performed at home. Coagulation test can be performed at home. أنا بستعمل بالcoagulation test liquid proteins يلي هو egg white, بياض البيض. أوكي؟ أو منقول له egg albumin أو ovalbumin. أوكي؟ في عنده كذا تسمية. So egg white, I bring the egg white and I just heat it, teacher. Just heat the substance. I bring the egg white and I heat it. The result is coagulation. Liquid egg white, whenever it is heated, it becomes solid. This is coagulation. هيدا التجمد. Coagulate إنه يجمد, ينتقل from the liquid state to the solid state. Okay? Example يلي هو as if you are frying an egg. Okay? The liquid egg white becomes solid. So this is coagulation. فينا نشتغل بتست تيوب. نعبي الإيج وايت in a test tube. Okay, شوفوا لونه transparent كان. After heating, it becomes white in color. It becomes solid. So this is coagulation test. We move to the biuret test. The biuret test, it is specific for proteins and polypeptides. أنا ما عندي test للأمينو acidness. Okay, I don't have a test for amino acids. I have a test for a protein alone. It's called coagulation. وعندي test للبروتين and the polypeptides. اسمه biuret test. How do we perform the biuret test? We bring a test tube. We put the substance in the tube. And then we add equal drops of copper sulfate and sodium hydroxide. CuSO4, which is blue in color, and NaOH, which is colorless. I do not heat in biuret test. I don't heat in biuret test, okay? It's performed without heating. So, the result is purple or violet color, okay? So, whenever I observe the purple or the violet color in biuret test, it means that this substance contains proteins or polypeptides, or even together. It could be protein alone, it could be polypeptide, or it could be a mix of protein and polypeptide. So, biuret test, the aim of this test to identify the presence of proteins and or polypeptides. The procedure, we add equal drops of copper sulfate, CSO4, it has a blue color, and sodium hydroxide, NaOH, which is colorless, to the substance. Okay? The result is violet color. So whenever I see a violet color, it indicates, in biuret test, indicates the presence of protein and or polypeptides. It could be protein alone, it could be polypeptide alone, it could be a mix, okay, of protein and polypeptide mixture. So let's see this video.
Okay, this is the fourth and final test for the food test that you guys will be doing, and today we're going to be looking at protein. As I did with the other ones, I've put protein solution inside the test tube.
This is a protein
to get
solution.
Our positive test result to know if protein was present, what would actually occur. All right, the first step is you need to add 1 pipette full of sodium hydroxide.
Sodium hydroxide.
That's really important because you've got to add 2 reagents in this case, that you make sure you get 1 of each bottle. They are labelled sodium hydroxide. The other reagent is copper sulfate. Okay, so make sure that they are in separate trays. Make sure you get 1 of each. When you do the protein test, it's important that you add these in the correct order. Okay, and the first step is you add 1 pipette full of the sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is a hazardous chemical, so make sure you are careful with that. That you as I did there, you place it inside and then squeeze. You don't want it getting onto your fingers. And with any time you're using chemicals, what would be the other safety gear you guys should wear? Goggles. Yes, goggles. Good. I've added the sodium hydroxide. There is another part to it. You need to give it a bit of a shake. Okay, it's important that you agitate it between each addition of reagents. And then you add the second reagent, and this is important to add it in this order. The second reagent is copper sulfate. You guys have seen this before. It's that blue solution, but you only need about 3 or 4 drops of this. So the sodium hydroxide, 1 pipette full, mix, then 3 to 4 drops. I'll do a little bit more because I've got quite a lot of the copper sulfate, and then give it a mix. Can everyone see the colour change that's occurring?
Yeah.
I might add all right, what colour has it gone? Purple. Now that protein solution is quite thick, so it's not mixing evenly, but it is mixing. When you add the copper sulfate solution
so you see how the color
to some other things,
changes?
it'll automatically go blue because the copper sulfate's blue. Okay? If protein is present though, it will go either, now this is because this is a strong solution, it has gone quite purple. However, it can go quite a dark blue. Alright, so I'll just show the copper sulfate again.
Okay,
Alright, can everyone see the colour of the copper sulfate? And you guys have used that before. That with the copper sulfate.
Okay. Finally, we end with the organic food identification test. The lipids. Okay, أنا عندي تest واحد للليبيد. Okay, and also it can be performed at home. يعني أنا بقدر أعمل الأيودين at home, الcoagulation at home, and the lipid test at home. Okay. بيبقى أكيد الفهلينج والفيروس تيست لأنه I need chemical solutions from the lab. أنا ما في أعملهم بالبيت. Okay, the lipid has only one test. It's called the lipid test, or some books call it the spot test. Okay, so lipid test. The aim of this test من اسمه to identify the presence of lipids, الدهون, of fats, of lipids. How to make this test? We rub the substance, the food, on a piece of paper. Okay, حبة زيتون, whatever, there's fat in it, bread, a piece of bread, whatever, we just rub it on a piece of paper. The result is a translucent spot, بقعة الزيت. Okay, أنا في أجيب في نقطة زيت, a drop of oil on a piece of paper. Okay, حتترك بقعة, spot. هيدي السبوت حتى لو نشفت حتبقى البقعة. This is called a translucent spot. Translucent, okay, هي بقعة الزيت. هي not too transparent ولا إنها opaque. هي بالنص. هي بقعة منا شفافة على الآخر مثل بقعة الماء. وإذا نشفت ما بتروح بتبقى. This is called a translucent spot. Okay, so it identifies the presence of lipids.
Add a drop of cooking oil onto a piece of filter paper. Add a drop of water alongside the oil spot.
Between the drop of
Circle the spots with a pencil.
and drop of water. We use a filter paper لأنه كتير thin بتكون thinner than a normal, okay, paper.
Hold the filter paper up against a lamp. What can you observe? After 10 minutes, examine it again.
Okay, water has disappeared, the water spot, while the
If a
translucent
translucent
spot
spot is left,
okay, this is an evidence of the translucent spot. Okay, it does not dry and it remains. Okay, I need you to study the 5 organic food identification test, because in the next session we will take the inorganic. Hopefully we'll be in class. Okay, inshallah بنكون بالصف. And you all will be safe and your families. Okay, وحناخد inorganic in class. Okay, be safe and hopefully I'll see you soon.